Good morning. December 29th. Can you guys believe it's 2 more days until 2023?
I'm trying to wrap my head around
We're in
that.
shock.
Yeah.
No, you
Did
know
I
what?
do my math wrong? Because of the way you reacted.
No. Okay, so here's my issue. All day, I keep thinking it's Monday.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just in one of those headspaces where,
Yep.
because I've been away the last few days
Yep.
celebrating with family, and got home last night, and it just felt like, okay, the weekend's over. Now it's, but it's Thursday?
It's Thursday, yes.
It's
Yes.
like, it's Monday, but on a Thursday.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. So,
Yeah.
I actually feel just like it's still Christmas, like it's still Boxing Day in my brain. And also Christmas isn't necessarily Christmas. Like Christmas Day was actually also kind of our Boxing Day because we pushed everything a day forward and all
Right.
of that too. So I feel like I'm in still a Boxing Day fog even now today.
Wow.
It's,
So,
I'm personally just going to blame it on the jet fumes from last night, but that's
okay, now you got
another
to tell
story.
us a little bit about that
Hey,
because, we're curious.
I don't want to put down any airlines, but I was
Whichever
on one
airline you took,
yesterday.
yep,
I was
yep.
on an airline yesterday, and the cabin had a very je ne sais quoi, which another passenger correctly identified as jet fumes and inquired about it, and the cabin crew member was like, yeah, that's normal, it's okay. And it usually goes away in 5 minutes. To which my brain just about exploded because I'm like, one, no, that's not okay. And two, what do you mean usually? Like, this could be the whole flight?
That's why it's a federal
man.
offense to smoke on a plane.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I didn't
Obviously.
realize you could just blow the... I just thought, like if my car smells that way, I got to stop driving it
Yeah.
and get it
Get
fixed.
it to the shop.
But
Or at
if
least
your
air it out to see if it's coming from your car.
737 is that way, it's like, no biggie.
Oh, man.
We'll just open
Yeah.
a window and air it
Yeah.
out. So anyways, that was part of the adventures of travel.
Yeah,
And,
well, I mean, so just because you've been talking about being away,
Sure.
you went away. Where'd you go? Tell
yeah,
us.
no, we still like normal. We spent Christmas.
Also,
What?
happy birthday.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
Yes, I am now officially older. That's great.
Don't get
no,
too specific.
yeah, I'm like, figure it out. I can tell you the year. You can do the math. So yeah, no, we still got to spend time with family on the island, which is really good because, well, I'm getting older. I'm not the only one, and it's just nice. So it's good. We are obviously, like so many people, travel plans changed and keep changing, and that was true for us too. But on Christmas Day, when we got down to the ferry, after what was actually a pretty, my wife did say it was maybe one of the top 3 worst, and I'm like, no, I can think of worse. It wasn't clear, but it wasn't bad, right? And so maybe we just have a low bar. I don't know. But we got to the ferry and it was fine, and it was a decent day. Never once did we have any sort of like. We didn't hit any ice in any way that caused concern. It was a smooth day, and there's definitely been worse drives. And so anyways, we got to the ferry, and we're just like, it's like you take that breath, right? You're like, okay,
We made it.
we made it.
Yeah.
It's done. We're actually going to get to have Christmas dinner with family.
That's
And
great.
so
Yeah.
that was good.
That's the moment that I always look forward to is like, okay, chaos. It's crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
deep breath.
So when was your deep breath this week?
I had a nap Christmas Day. That was my. But actually, there was a bit of it Saturday afternoon as well too, because we did kind of a Christmas Day thing. So it felt nice.
Yeah.
But I also feel like I'm extending it now too, because then the puzzles come out, and then the just playing outside and coming in for hot chocolate, and then that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to stretch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As you should.
I've had my kids are older and they sleep a lot of the day, so I've been able to just do some reading and and hanging out
great.
with my wife, and it's been pretty relaxing for me. So it's been nice. I have to tell you, having another driver in the house, Jack driving, and he's a good driver, and it's just opened up a lot for both for all of us. So It's really nice.
Sorry, it did take me a split second because my brain, jet fuel. When most people keep their drivers in a bag. I'm like, did you get a new golf club for Christmas? That's kind of where my brain went to first. I'm like, okay.
Nope, haven't done that.
So-
anyways, yeah.
Some people go, well, having another driver is just a small thing, but maybe we're not going to go there yet. But that's great.
Oh, no, because I'm the driver for the house.
Yes.
And 3 different people needing to go places, well, 4 needing to go places, and now to have another one who can take,
Yeah.
anybody as well is so nice, so.
Yeah, no, we're already starting to say that, like, as we're like, you got to be nice to your big sister.
Yeah.
Okay, she's going to be your chauffeur.
Yeah, exactly.
What? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, you'll learn.
But anyways, we hope that you had a great time with your family. We had a good time here on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
We started by Friday night having a service in here. Sunday morning we were in here. And we talked about big things coming from small places. We talked about Bethlehem being in the shadow of the capital and yet its rich history and what significance it played in the role of Jesus coming. But I just was wondering, when we think about small things coming, or big things coming from small places, what are some life experiences that you guys have, or life experiences or observations of that kind of theme, big things coming from small places? I'll let you think about it. Like for me, the thing that really came up was I am here today because 1999 maybe? No, 1998 probably. My wife said to me just couple months after we were married. I was an engineer working in the auto industry, volunteering with youth, and she said to me, "Jeff, you love youth ministry. You do engineering. Have you ever thought of doing of being a youth pastor?" And that little question turned into seminary, being a youth pastor for 18 years, and eventually being here. So I always look at that as like, man, a small little comment that she made turned into this huge thing. So that's one thing for me. How about for you guys?
A very similar conversation of a guy was coming through our town and he did a concert at our church, and there was something that touched me. But same kind of conversation, he said like, I love doing electrical, and yet I also realize I'm called to something different, and I'm called to music ministry. And it was just in that comment of like, oh, you could actually minister to people being an electrician, and you could do this. Which one are you called to? And it just felt like at that moment God had called me to something else. Yeah.
Were you down the path of electrician? Like, were you started in an apprenticeship or something?
No,
or,
no, it was before that. But I was thinking, I would love to be able to do that as like a day job.
Well,
thing.
it's kind of neat because you basically are an electrician here, so you get
Yeah,
to do both.
It does feel like I actually get to do both some days,
Yeah,
and I think that's God's sense of humor. Of
I
like,
know.
I'm going to
Yeah.
take a little bit of this, a little bit of this.
Yes.
God does a lot of baking, and look at that, it comes out as fruitcake.
And you
it's a
don't
beautiful
know,
thing.
like you're like, oh, I'm choosing this, which means I'm saying no to this, but sometimes he'll bring it back,
Yeah.
and it is pretty. That's awesome.
Yep.
Wow. You're still going on 3 hours sleep, so
Yeah,
we
well,
forgive
hey,
you. But
hey, yeah,
have you
yeah.
thought of anything?
So, too many things, because, the cheeky side of me goes, yeah, big changes have come around here from something little. That's the cheeky side. It's usually what rises to the top first.
I'm so glad we're live. I'm so glad we're live.
In all seriousness, I think. So I think at some point what happens is I think of a million little things that have happened, which actually together aren't so little anymore, right? And on their own, I think what's more little is for people who have like maybe thought they were making a nothing of a comment or starting like those like I think some of the things people have said to me over the years, and it's like, you probably think that's nothing, but when I hear that and my brain immediately connects it to these like 50 other things, it's not a little thing anymore, but to you it probably was. And I don't, so what I mean is maybe that's an encouragement that to be faithful to those Holy Spirit promptings that we receive, where it's like, that, and sometimes they're just silly and cheeky. Like I do think of one person. I was on a mission trip one time with a church that I was not connected to, but was loosely connected to through the college I was at. And someone on the trip just, like the weirdest thing, which isn't that significant, but just makes me laugh all these years later. Someone's like, "You walk like a youth pastor." And I went, "What?" Like, that's dumb. But at the same time, makes me laugh. And I still think about that. And I go, like, that's just so weird and bizarre, but lovely. It's a beautiful thing in the end, right? Because they meant it, and it really was an intention of a confirmation kind of comment. And it's just how it came out was silly and fun.
Were you a youth pastor at the time?
I was in college towards that goal.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Oh, so
I'd
that's
only
great.
done 1 year of ministry, training, I should say. But anyways, so, but when you put stuff like, 100 little conversations together, they really do pile up. And you could even say some of those little comments that have come out over the years, like probably impact even my relationship with Sheena, right? Like I probably would have, it's well documented, I would have absolutely overlooked and been totally clueless to how amazing she is, except that, a little comment from someone there, like how great she was and that, and then all of a sudden they start to go together. It's like, oh my goodness, like this is awesome. Things like that. And so, it's hard to think of maybe a little thing because my brain just instantly connects them all to all the other things. But I think that it's probably from the flip side of that, there's a lot, what someone might think is little can have huge impact. Negatively too, and I think maybe that's worth just giving a nod to, is we do have to be careful with our words. And I don't want to say that everything that comes to mind needs to be said, because sometimes that's just a tip of an iceberg that then gets connected to a million negative things that we don't see. And we might think, I just made some silly comment about walking like a youth pastor. But if that's received poorly, and it wasn't, I don't know, I don't even remember who said it. I've had no contact with this person in the last however many years, but it was a beautiful thing. But we got to be careful, I guess, with our words too, so that it's not a little thing that has huge negative consequences.
Well, and even just to spring off of that a little bit, the how you say it, like what you say is one thing, but even the small, what feels like a small thing, how you say it is actually can be huge, right? Because if you're meaning it as a way to correct or change that person, maybe rethink that, right? Because the how you say that is really important too. So I don't know if that came out the way I meant it to, but
it's all good.
These little comments and how you say them, even when you say them, all these little things can make a huge difference.
They can. They absolutely can.
Yeah.
And then look at how many great people were formed out of little towns. I mean, I love little towns. I just think they're so beautiful and fun and quirky. And there's no, I don't think there's such a thing as an insignificant place. It's always significant to someone.
Right.
And as much as we like to trash Calgary, that it can be, it can
You
be
wait
really
till Saturday. You wait till Saturday.
I don't, that's
No,
fine.
I'm cheering for both teams, so it's okay.
It's all good. It's all good.
So, well, just good food for thought. Even heading into a new year, how are we faithful in the little things? I mean, that's really, I don't know about you guys, but I always want to be like doing something big for Jesus, right?
Yeah.
But he talks about doing the little things, and how in the kingdom, it's the first that are last, the great that are small, the small that are great. Like, maybe these little things are the most important, so.
Think about New Year's resolutions, or even somebody says, okay, I'm going to, whatever, I'm going to work towards this goal of this summer thing, and I'm going to work out, and that difference making happens in the 7 a.m. on a Tuesday morning in the middle of January and February and March and April,
Yep.
right? And you can't get to all these big things later on if you aren't faithful in those small things, continually and revisiting. And yeah, it doesn't have to be a giant workout session. Sometimes it's just a walk around the track, done, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we sometimes do forget is we think it's these really big things.
Yeah.
But often a big thing is 1,000 small steps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally it is, right? It's that old classic saying, how do you eat an elephant? Right?
Yeah.
One bite at a time.
That's a Tom Morgan for me.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, but you know what? One of the things that originally, when you brought this topic up, came to mind is back to the little people. We've had a good chuckle in our family over Christmas because my wife, thanks to Facebook Memories, rediscovered an old Christmas letter that came out when Joella was a newborn, and we were talking in there about how she was so quiet and sneaky, and we're like, beware the quiet ones. And then the very next year, it was like, what kind of noises are coming out of this small child? And, we love her so much, but part of who she is a big personality, which is just delightful to watch.
Oh, yeah.
But I bring that up because as much of that was kind of our chuckle over Christmas, definitely our kids, I think, are our first and foremost little thing to steward and prepare and guide, because something big is going to come out of each of them. And yeah,
My boys are both bigger than me, now, and I used to hold them. So yeah, big things from little places.
yeah,
You just sparked something people have asked me about exercise and stuff like that, and what I continually say is something's better than nothing.
yep,
And the 5 minutes you do today, tomorrow, the next day adds up to 25 minutes a week if you do 5 days, 35 if you do 7. And if you multiply that times 52, not that you're going to hit all those days, but every minute that you do some sort of exercise, but it's not just exercise. So that's one thing where big things can come from small places. Just those little steps will trigger another step and another step and another step. But a little thing that made a big difference to me was I've often, when I was, especially 20 years ago or so, when I was like, man, I've been a Christian for this long, I should be this much better, right? Like I shouldn't be dealing with that same thing again, right? I heard a sermon where the guy made an analogy with getting on an airplane, and he's like, if the pilot is just a tiny bit off course, it doesn't seem like very much, but the further you go, the more off course it is. And I forget how he connected to this, but the idea being that it's not where you want. It's not being at the place where you want to be. It's not trying to get there faster. It's where you're headed, right? So for New Year's resolutions and stuff like that, if you want to, what's just one step, and then what's the next step? I think you were saying that. I was just trying.
Half of that is your aim as well too.
Yeah,
The
where are you
aim
aiming?
is where, but it's also the continual tiny course corrections that get you to that place, right?
Yes.
Like, you leave from Vancouver and you're trying to go across the Pacific, and all of a sudden you end up in Australia because just one little bit, and I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah.
Right.
And don't beat yourself up about it. Just be like, oh, I got to correct, right?
small
And I
course
got to correct. So I miss a day of exercise. I'll just do it tomorrow, But if I'm missing, I missed yesterday, so I'll miss today too. Oh, I missed yesterday, that's not correcting. Correcting is like, oh, you know what? I missed a couple days. I should get back at it. Yeah. Anyways, so just lots of different thoughts for you to ponder. But be faithful in the little things. I think that's our big challenge for invitation challenge for today and for moving forward. Looking forward, we get to be here again on New Year's Day. So we get to kind of usher in 2023 together. Looking forward to that on Sunday, and we will celebrate communion. So if you're not able to be here and you're watching, you can have that ready. If you come, we'll have that for you. We're excited about that. Tell us about Sunday night.
Sunday night, if you are between the ages of grades 7 and 12, you get to come hang out with us. We are going to do a New Year's event that will be significant in terms of time together. And it's going to be fun. We're just going to have a fun night, a very late night, a very fun night. We're going to end it with breakfast in the morning. And it starts at 8 o'clock here.
PM?
Wow, PM, yes, 8
Sunday,
PM
yep.
on Sunday. I mean, we could, no, it starts at 8 PM. I was going to make a joke, but no, it's going to be confusing.
Yeah.
8 PM in the evening here. And
That's when it ends. But also, don't forget about the afternoon nap. That's when it actually ends. On Monday.
8 p.m. it starts.
Yeah.
What
On
time
Sun-
on the
on
Right.
Sunday.
Monday
So
at-
then we pick them up.
Pick
we
them
take
up
them
about,
home,
like,
and
yeah,
then it's going to
9
be
a.m. or
mandatory
something like
naps in our house.
Yeah.
Monday afternoon,
100%.
everybody's having a nap.
I like that. That's great.
That's my plan.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anyways, so it's going to be a fun night. It's going to
That's
be a fun
great.
night with our youth here at the church.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we head into the new year, and we'll look forward to all that God has for us next year. But we hope that you have a great couple last days of 2022, and ponder what God's done over the last year, and celebrate. And we look forward to seeing you next year. God bless.